And now, live from Las Vegas, the Joey Ciccone Show. The Joey Ciccone Show. Connected.
Hey everybody, it's Joey Ciccone. I want to welcome you to the Joey Ciccone Show, connected live from Las Vegas. Happy to be here. I hope you're having a nice Friday. It's the end of the week. Hope everybody's happy. Scotty, it's fall right now. It's getting a little cool out there. I like that vibe when like October comes, November. Even though I came from back east and I don't miss the snow or the cold and everything, but I like the way it gets right now. It's really cool. Got a great show for you today. Obviously, you see my opening there. Remember, friends, the Joey Ciccone Show, World Center of Broadcast Media. Tune in. It's WCOBM.com. You're going to hit Las Vegas, and then you're going to hit the Joey Ciccone Show. I'm there live, right in your face, on your phone, on your computer. And then we got archives backing it up. But there's a chat button. That's very important to me. Why? I like to talk to my fans, and I like my guests to get questions from the fans and everything else. Anyway, man, the world we're going a little crazy out there, and all we can do is, say some prayers and some blessings and hope that it all works out here in the future. And I won't tell you who I'm voting for, okay? All right, but I do want to say this too. October got some really strong guests coming on, and they're kind of secretive because there's some exclusive stuff that I'm going to be bringing to you today. My guest, I'm very happy to have him here, actually on the line right now, listening from Virginia. This gentleman was a legendary bowler. Not was. He could probably still knock it out. But when I talked to Bob Perry, and that's who my guest is, I didn't know if Bob was using the bowling ball to roll it down the alley or crack some heads. So we're gonna find that out today. But he's got a book out. Bobby, you're on the phone. Virginia,
Hey, Joey, how you doing?
What's up, babe? How you doing, man? I'm doing good.
I'm good. I really want to thank you guys for asking me to come on.
Man,
it's great to come on your show.
Dude, let me tell you something, because people don't know it, but we made the connection yesterday, because I'm not going to BS, because I never BS on this show. We made the connection yesterday. It's an honor to have you, sir. A consummate professional in the bowling world. But friends, I got to tie it into the Joey Ciccone Connected show, okay? This guy was bowling for the mob. There's a little bit more involved here today. I want to see those chats. Carmela, best show ever is coming on, the Joey Ciccone Show Connected. I love you, Carmela. Vinny's in the house. Can't wait. We're rolling right now, baby. All right, we're going. Bob, the book.
Yeah.
The book.
Let's talk.
Let's talk, baby. Let's talk. The book. All right, now.
The book is called Redemption Alley.
Redemption Alley. I mean, when I saw the title, I was like, Redemption Alley, man. Because you go ahead and define redemption, and you'll see all kinds of things. But the bottom line is, it's like the guy that makes the comeback. It's like the Rocky guy, He does it.
Well,
Go ahead.
We'll say there was like 3 comebacks, but the story is about a bowler who was considered to be one of the greatest bowlers that ever lived, and involving the mob. The
right.
first book we wrote was bowling. Excuse me?
I don't want to cut you off. You said something about talking about the legendary bowler that ever lived. No, you are, man. You are. I dissected you. I got on there and I took care of business. You took care of it. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off, but I consider you the legend. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, that's what the whole thing about is when they did all them big-time action bowlers and they rated us. I was rated at top 3 in the East Coast and all through the Midwest because all we did in the early 70s, we bowled pro tournaments, but there was a huge amount of action. And at that time, there were no racetracks at night on the weekends. There was no gambling casinos. And when we went to bowl for money, we drew the who's who of who, and all types of, with the Italians in New York and all the Goombas. Everybody, all they did was come to the bowling alleys on Friday night.
Right?
And when I was 16, huh?
No. I'm laughing. You keep talking, man. You keep talking.
Yeah, well, you know, I was 16 and I met these two guys, and one of them was my Uncle Raymond, the other was my Uncle Raymond, and then there was Bobby Cabert, and the guy with the silver hair, John Gotti. But at that time, both them guys, they were thugs. They weren't the men who what they turned out to be. And, you know, in the 70s, early 70s, I was 17 years old, and they just came over to me and said, "Hey, kid, you throw the ball pretty good." I said, "I'm okay." And then they said, "You want to bowl?" They said, "You want to bowl for some money?" I said, "No, I don't want to bowl you guys." I said, "I'd rather not bowl you two." And they said, "Why?" I said, "Because really, it wouldn't be a contest if I bowled you." And they said, "We don't want you to bowl us. We want you to bowl other people." And
right.
At that time, nobody knew. Like, when I was 12 years old, I was supposed to bowl in the World's Fair in 1964. And I was against all these 18 years old. I was 12 years old. And I made it to the show, but I got blinded the day before. And I'm still blind in one eye for 52 years. The kid next door to me, he swung a croquet mallet which missed and hit me. And I never got the ball on TV. But
Unbelievable.
with my one eye, I managed to develop one of the greatest games in the history of bowling. And for money, forget about it. It turned into a steamroller, bankroll type of thing for all these guys. You know, they come up with all kinds of money. We go bowl, and on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, I'd go out of the house with either 200 or no money, and I come home with a lot of money every night.
Minka, you better believe it. You better believe it. So what happened is, you were coming up, and you know, you were good at what you did, but you didn't have a major ego. You were like, you know, this is what I do, blah 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 blah. And the bottom line is, these guys caught on to what you did, and it's like, let me make a little money with this kid and see. I'm gonna throw a few fazools on him and see what happens, man. And go ahead.
Well, you know, when they first started betting on me, it was like they were stealing a lot of money without even a gun. It's like I would walk into any major bowling center in Brooklyn, Long Island, Staten Island, New Jersey. Everywhere I went, it was like not only was I building a reputation, but at that time, you know, all the guys that were up there, they were dodging bullets because they didn't want to be around me because the money was on the table. But I do have a story I could tell that's in the book, chapters 3 and chapter 4.
3?
And this is about the biggest money match that ever lived.
Okay, go ahead.
I was in Brooklyn, and I was in Harlem. It was a Saturday night, and I had just done doing exhibitions for Arthur Prysock, who had Let It Be Lowenbrow, the man from the beer, Lowenbrow.
Yeah, Lowenbrow, the beer.
I was walking through the building, and the guy walked up to me and says, "Hey, money bowler." I said, "What?" He says, "Money bowler. I heard if I beat you, we can win a lot of money." And I said to the guy, "You got to have a lot of money to win a lot of money." And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "For the people to bet on me, if you want to bowl for a lot of money, you got to bring a lot of money." So he took out all the money in his pocket and put it on a snack table in the bowling alley, Lenox Lanes, on Lenox Avenue. And I said, "That's not a lot. That's not enough." And he turns around and he puts more stacks of hundreds wrapped in elastic bands. His nickname was Ruby Red. He said, "My name is Ruby Red. I don't make problems, I solve problems." And I used to say to him, "Well, what do you want to do? You want to bowl for a lot of money?" And he filled the table. There had to be over 100 G's there. So we turned around, we we decided to bowl the match. I figured I'd go home, and I would tell my uncle, Kabert, and what Gotti was called the other guy. I said, I'll tell the other guy.
Right.
And he threw hundreds of thousands on the table. He was the big heroin deal.
Right, and the bottom line, not to cut you off because we want to go to a break, but I just want to tell you, at that time, you know, the Fazools, that money was worth even triple the amount of what it is today, all right? I got some fans coming in here with, did the mob, just a question before we go to break, did the mob ever threaten to whack you if you lost the game?
Well, this is what's going to happen after the match, but they never threatened me.
All right, well, listen, we're going to save that. We love having you. I love the juiciness, and so do all my fans and friends here right now. You're watching the Joey Ciccone Show, connected live in Las Vegas. We'll be right back in about 3. Check out the Bob Perry story.
To watch one bowler win $100,000. Earl, 4 bowlers, $100,000 on the line. It doesn't get any better than this tonight.
And this is what's left of our field of almost 2,000 entries here at the Showboat.
There are a lot of Bob Verzicki fans all across the country.
Even the best bowlers always respected and somewhat feared Bob because they knew of his talent.
His talent was exceptional because he was one of those natural bowlers, or natural sportsmen, as we would say. But the rhythm that he had, the execution that he had of the bowling ball, the roll on the ball, the power that he had at the end of in the pocket, it was something else.
He had like one of the greatest arm swings, and a lot of the young players today have a high backswing. Pete Weber's backswing, real high. A lot of those guys have all these high backswings. Well, Bob started that high backswing.
And I went from some kid on the street that was nothing to the best bowler in the East Coast. I used to go out every Friday night, everywhere, and bowl everybody for money. It didn't matter. I went, and all these big-time money bowlers, they'd walk in, they'd see me, and I'd step on a lane. After I was done with them, they'd walk out scratching their heads, like, where did this kid come from?
We battled each other on the lanes in competition, match play, and he beat me and I beat him, and he beat me and I beat him. But we had a lot of fun together, and he was a great guy to watch.
I was terrific. I won my first professional title. I remember I bowled 12 tournaments, 12 regional tournaments. The most first place was $1,000. And I was leading money winner with $6,000.
I was at the American Bowling Congress Championship. I got him in doubles and singles with another young guy who bowled tour, Ty Critchlow. And put the two guys together for the doubles and singles competition that afternoon. And lo and behold, Bob and Ty won the professional doubles title that day.
He would bowl against anybody, anywhere. He bowled in leagues in maybe 10 different areas in New Jersey. Almost invariably, he would be the leading bowler in the league. He's rolled 300 games and 800 series in 10 different counties in the state, which is an incredible feat. There's this organization called the NBA. That's the National Bowling Association. Now, this is a complete black organization that was formed because initially in bowling, only whites were allowed to bowl, so they formed their own organization. And each year they have a tournament. So what happens, because of rules, they have to accept anybody. So one tournament, in walks Bob, and he wins the NBA singles championship.
I ended up being TNBA Bowl of the Year. I was Black Bowl of the Year, and I was a white guy.
Well, actually, in 1972, I bought Encyclopedia Britannica, and every year you get the Book of the Year after that. The Book of the Year would come in the mail. And I opened it one day, and I said, let me look up bowling. And I looked up bowling, and there was my brother's name in Encyclopedia Britannica.
I joined the PBA when I was 19. I had graduated high school. I think it was the summer. I had a choice either to go to college or to become a professional bowler, and I became a professional bowler.
Bowling was gambling itself. They bowled for money all the time.
It was like going to a movie.